Facebook has had an absolutely disastrous week with a damning whistleblower interview on Sunday, an unprecedented outage on Monday, and then a Senate hearing yesterday on how the company dismantled safeguards and fostered a business model where dangerous misinformation can spread. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. Things have not been going great for the world's most powerful social media platform. On Sunday, a whistleblower who filed complaints against the company with federal law enforcement revealed herself on 60 Minutes and said the company is aware of the harm it causes and prioritizes profits over safety. On Monday, Facebook and its family of apps, including WhatsApp and Instagram, suffered unprecedented outages. And on Tuesday, the same whistleblower testified before Congress and said the company's products harm children and hides what it knows from the public. Suffice it to say, Facebook has had a week. It's the kind of week you'd normally post about on Facebook. Facebook had a worse week than the Yankees, or worse yet, Yankees radio announcer John Sterling.
The pitch to Stanton. There goes. Deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone out of the ballpark. A Stantonian home run. Now, what did I do wrong? What did I see wrong? He's at first base.
Look, sports broadcasting is hard, and I also thought it was gone off the bat, but why did he keep going after the ball bounced off the wall? It is high, it is far, it is gone. Stanton hit it so hard he stopped at first base, taunting the Red Sox, as if to say, I will finish my home run trot when I am good and ready. What did I do? What did I see? I'm sorry, but I just had to make some time tonight to indulge some Yankees schadenfreude. Plus, someone needs to take Wally down a peg. He's such a big Yankees fan, he wears 27 World Series rings.
That's right. 10 on my fingers, 10 on my toes, and 7 on my...
No! No, I do feel a little bad making fun of Wally on a day like today until I remember he is a Yankees fan and a Patriots fan, i.e. pure evil. You know what his least favorite team is? The one that has to win to save the orphanage. So just be happy that the only Wally smiling last night was this guy. Anyway, the massive Facebook outage on Monday was the company's worst since 2008, leaving its 3 billion plus users across the world in the dark while it tried to figure out what the hell was going on.
6 hours later, Facebook and Instagram finally back online tonight. The longest worldwide outage ever to hit the company, and it's more than 3 billion users. The crash impacting businesses who depend on the apps to reach its customers.
Now, for many small businesses, Facebook serves as their website, their way to share their hours and any updates about their businesses, and especially in India, Latin America, and in Africa, Facebook in a lot of ways effectively functions like the mobile internet.
Look, in certain countries, Facebook is almost a utility, and it does provide essential services, linkages around the world.
And it is, to say the least, not good that what amounts to a global public utility is controlled by one massive, secretive international conglomerate. It's like finding out that all the drinking water in the world is controlled by some company called Aquabuds, and it's run by one weird little dude who created the company out of revenge because none of the cute girls at his college would give him a glass of water. Oh, I'll show him. I'll show him all. Who's thirsty now, Courtney? Facebook has since explained the outage, sort of. They did so in the vaguest way possible, using as much tech gobbledygook as they could. A Facebook executive said the outage was caused by configuration changes on the backbone routers that coordinate network traffic between our data centers caused issues that interrupted this communication. Whoa, 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 whoa. Explain it to me like I'm a Facebook user. Okay, I get it now. Look, phrasing like backbone routers and data centers lead me to believe that even when a company as big as Facebook goes down, they still have to deal with Time Warner for some reason. Yeah, and so leave it unplugged for 20 seconds before plugging it back in? All right, I'll try it. Anyway, the point is that no one company should have this much power, and not just one company, one person, because as whistleblower Frances Haugen explained at yesterday's hearing, there is one person who very much calls the shots at Facebook.
Mark holds a very unique role in the tech industry in that he holds over 55% of all the voting shares for Facebook. There are no similarly powerful companies that are as unilaterally controlled. And in the end, the buck stops with Mark. There's no one currently holding Mark accountable but himself. Mark has built an organization that is very metrics-driven, it is intended to be flat. There is no unilateral responsibility. The metrics make the decision. Unfortunately, that itself is a decision. And in the end, if he is the CEO and the chairman of Facebook, he is responsible for those decisions.
The buck stops with him.
The buck stops with him.
That's right, the buck stops with him, which is, I guess, why when he goes out, he wears a disguise. Either he's wearing too much sunscreen or his face is at home recharging. I knew there were funny clowns and sad clowns, but I didn't know there were neutral clowns. I made you a balloon animal. Oh, what kind of animal is this? It is the double helix representing a DNA molecule, so really it could be any animal on Earth. Happy birth anniversary day. Haugen claims that Zuckerberg made the choice to run the site based on the metrics alone, which, if true, is itself a massive choice. You don't get to dodge responsibility by saying, it's not me promoting anti-vax misinformation, it's a math equation. The rest of us don't get to show up to work 3 hours late and say, it's not my fault Waze told me the fastest route was kayaking up the East River. I ran aground on a dead mobster. Oh, Jimmy, why'd you have to talk to the cops? So if the buck stops with Zuckerberg, what was he doing as a whistleblower came forward with damning allegations that his company was knowingly harming people for profit?
As this whistleblower came forward this week, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg was posting video of his sailing trip as his company faced a firestorm.
The hearing also took stark aim at Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, who posted a video sailing with his family on Sunday just before Hogan exposed some of the company's research on children in an explosive 60 Minutes interview.
Side note, I don't know how this guy's always outdoors with his complexion. If I spend 5 minutes on the beach, I end up with sand in every orifice for 3 days and a sunburn on my taint. I don't know how. I do know, if you go to Walgreens and ask the pharmacist for help with a sunburnt taint, they kick you out of the store, which, if you ask me, taint polite. But that's definitely where you want to be when a whistleblower accuses you of manipulating people for profit. Sailing. What's the matter? You couldn't find a dressage horse? I take issue with the fact that you're criticizing our company. But then on Tuesday, Zuckerberg emerged to respond to the claims from Haugen, and suffice to say, his rebuttal was not that great.
Zuckerberg writes, "The argument that we deliberately push content that makes people angry for profit is deeply illogical. We make money from ads, and advertisers consistently tell us they don't want their ads next to harmful or angry content. I don't know any tech company that sets out to build products that make people angry or depressed."
You don't know a tech company that sets out to build a product that makes people angry or depressed? What about Adobe Flash Player? Gen Zers won't know what I'm talking about, but it used to be anytime you wanted to watch something on the internet, like a dancing baby or a funny chipmunk, you had to update something called Adobe Flash Player that you didn't even know you had. And it sucked because it took forever and you had to do it every time. And even the error message said, this is a giant waste of time, you should be reading a book. Or how about Twitter? Angry and depressed is their whole business model. I have a Klonopin set aside every night for my pre-bed doom scrolling. I have specific accounts I check every day just to get pissed off. When you used to log onto Twitter, the bird whistled, and now it just curses at you. You. Also, you think advertisers care if the content people engage with the most is angry and depressing? Advertisers just want eyeballs. If they only wanted happy people to see their ads, they sure as hell wouldn't put billboards in Times Square. Times Square is the only place on earth you can hear Elmo call a kid a dip in a Russian accent. No tickle me, I tickle you. Elmo tickle you. There's nothing advertisers love more than commercials during sports games, and those make people more angry and depressed than anything. Is Budweiser worried Wally's never going to drink it again just because one of their commercials played after Aaron Judge was thrown out at home? I'm sorry, Wally.
Actually, Seth, I don't drink Budweiser.
Oh, because of the commercial?
No, because I get paid per line on this show. I only drink champagne.
Why-yo! Audiences are coming back, Wally, and the party's over. So Zuckerberg likes to present a glowing portrait of what his platform does, but in reality, what Facebook hides from the public is much more revealing, as CNN explained this morning.
Facebook released these numbers for the second quarter of 2021, sort of painting a rosy picture that showed the best performing links and posts on the platform were about nice things like your pets and cooking and family outings and things like that. But some people started to ask, well, what did quarter one look like? What did the first quarter, the first 3 months of this year look like? And it eventually, that report, which Facebook chose not to release, was leaked to the New York Times, and it showed one of the top performing links on the platform in the first quarter of this year was a piece undermining the vaccine.
They hid that report from the public, but even if it didn't eventually leak, you don't need to be a data analyst to know that Facebook can be a toxic stew of conspiracy nonsense, and that's part of the business model. Just talk to your weird uncle about the news. Are you getting the vaccine, Uncle Ron? Well, I read on Facebook that it has a microchip in it that turns your penis into a Wi-Fi hotspot, so I'm 50-50. No corporation, let alone a single individual, should have this much power over how we communicate, which is why progressives like Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez have been calling for a while now to break up these giant tech monopolies.
I think we need vigorous antitrust legislation in this country, because you are seeing, you name the area, whether it's pharmaceuticals, whether it is Wall Street, whether it is high tech, fewer and fewer gigantic corporations owning those sectors. Facebook has we deal with it every day. They determine who we can communicate with. They have incredible power over the economy, over the political life of this country, in a very dangerous sense.
Anybody in here a little worried about how Facebook uses your data? Yeah, just a little bit worried. So some of you may know, there was another company that came along, WhatsApp, and they said, we're going to offer you a lot more data privacy. That's going to be a part of our sales pitch here. And boy, they started getting customers. So Facebook had a choice. Facebook could A, get better on privacy, or B, they could just buy out the competition. What did Facebook choose? Just buy out the competition. No. Giants are not allowed to buy out the competition. The competition has to be given a chance to thrive, grow, and either the giant gets better or the giant dies.
Whenever Warren goes into teacher mode, it makes me wish she'd been my driver's ed instructor. Then I'd know how to parallel park. Who here thinks you're supposed to go in head first? Well, you're wrong. You want to pull in backwards at a 45-degree angle toward the curb, and if you don't use your turn signal, so help me God, I will fail you. No company should have this much power, which is why progressives have been calling for years to break up Facebook and other tech giants. If the testimony we've heard this week is correct, Facebook knows what it's doing is dangerous, no matter how much they play innocent and say,
what did I do wrong?
Is it my eyes? My ears? This has been a closer look. God's Love We Deliver cooks and brings over 2 million meals a year to men, women, and children living with HIV/AIDS, cancer, and other serious illnesses, and they need your help now more than ever. If you're watching this online, you can hit the donate button. Stay safe. Get vaccinated. We love you.